Welcome to the Lakeland College Student Managed Farm, powered by New Holland wheat presentation. My name is Garrett Blocka. I'm from McDowell, Saskatchewan, and I was a part of the production team this year.
My name is Regan Ruch. I'm from Twatin, Alberta, and I was the marketing team manager this year.
My name's Shawn O'Donnell. I'm from Ashland, Pennsylvania, and I was a member of the analysis team.
I am Makhan Singh. I am from Punjab, India, and I am the member of production team this year.
I am Harshit Rathod. I am from Gujarat, India, and I am member of finance team this year.
I'm Devon Craig from Belmont, BC, and I was on the research team this year.
So for 2019, the student managed farm had 3 fields of CDC landmark wheat.
These 3 fields totaled 243 acres. Our average dry yield was 96 bushels an acre. Our average selling price was $6.58 per bushel. Our protein averaged about 14%, which was pretty good for this year. All of our samples graded number 2, and we did have some ergot and sprouting in our sample. Our average falling number was around 280, which is lower than the elevators like to see. They like a falling number of at least 300.
Here the wheat benchmarks show the wheat varieties grown within a 240-mile radius of the student managed farm. And this shows that the CDC landmark was planted on 187 fields with an average yield of 59 bushels per acre. And our student managed farm exceeded that average yield. The 3 student managed farm fields averaged a total of 96 bushels per acre of the CDC landmark wheat variety.
So for every field, we grow CDC landmark variety on it. Here is the LC10. The overall gross income for this field was $579 per acre. The overall expense was $395 per acre. The break-even for this field was 3.95 per bushel. The yield was 100.3 bushels per acre. We started our seeding on May 6th and we finished our combining on October 13th. On the booklet, you can see the pie chart on page number 6.
So for LC10, the seed treatment we used on the wheat was Ensure Cereal. Our pre-seed burn-off was pre-passed XC. Our seeding rate was 137 pounds an acre to target 32 plants per square foot. Our fertilizer blend was 40-10-00. This is quite a bit less than the other fields because LC10 is quite regularly used for pasture for cattle. So there's an excess of nutrients there. Seeding conditions, we had dry topsoil with moisture at the seed depth, and the moisture depth was anywhere from 1 to 1.5 inches deep.
For LC10, the pesticide rates, like pre-seeding rate was 0.04 liter per acre, XCA plus 0.375 liter per acre, XCB, which is group 2 and 9. And for herbicide, we used Velocity M3, that is all in one, with a rate of 0.4 liter per acre, which is group 1, 6, and 27. And this herbicide is also registered for both ground and aerial application. And there is no fungicide application that we used in the last year because the last year crops were at different stages, so that's why we didn't get chance to go through this application. And we used glyphosate as a pre-harvest weed control with a rate of 0.66 liter per acre, which is group 9.
Here is our yield profit map for LC10. These maps show how much profit was earned in relation to the yield across the fields. The map shows an average yield of 288.89 bushels per acre, and you could see there were some negative readings across the field as indicated by the red, yellow, and orange cells across the map. Some reasons that could have caused the lodging resulting in the low yield and decreased crop health include the high wind and rain totals that were reported on July 29th, scouting reports. And also there were previous year cattle grazing on this field, and that could have caused excessive nitrogen totals in the field, providing too much of a boost for the crop. So that would resulting in a lower yield than we hoped for. And we were unable to produce a profit map for LC12 because of errors during the calibration.
So for field LC12, the gross income was $514 per acre. The overall expense was $458 per acre. The break even for this field was 5.09 per bushel, which leads to yield of 90.04 bushels per acre. We seeded our plants on April 25th to 27, and we finished our combining on October 21st. And on the booklet, you can see the pie chart on page number 6.
LC12 seed treatment. Again, we had used Ensure cereal. Our pre-seed burn-off was Roundup Transorb with a Black Hawk tank mix. Seeding rates, 137 pounds an acre, again to target our 32 plants per square foot. Our fertilizer blend was 125-10-0. So we had 94.7000 side banded of N, and then 5.325-10-0 seed placed of N, phosphorus, and potassium. Our seeding conditions were top dry soil with moisture, again, anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half deep.
For LC12, the pesticide rates were pre-seeding rate was 0.5 liter per acre glyphosate plus 0.3 liter per acre Black Hawk, which is group 4, 9, and 14. And for herbicide, we used Velocity M3 for this one field with same rate 0.4 liter per acre, which is group 1, 6, and 27. Again, there is a no fungicide application for this one field. And we also used glyphosate as a pre-harvest weed control with same rate 0.66 liter per acre, which is group 9.
So for field LC19, the gross income was $596 per acre. The overall expense was $431 per acre. The break even for this field was $4.24 per bushel. The overall yield was 101.9 bushels per acre. We start our seeding on April 29 and we finish our combining on October 12th. And on the booklet, you can see the pie chart on page number 7.
LC19 seed treatment. Again, we used Ensure cereal. Our pre-seed burn-off was Pre-Pass XC. Seeding rate, 137 pounds an acre to target 32 plants per square foot. Our fertilizer blend was the same as LC12 at 125-10-0 with 94.7000 of N being side banded, and then 5.325-10-0 being seed placed. So that's N, phosphorus, and potassium. Our conditions when seeding were dry topsoil with moisture at seed depth, again, anywhere from that inch to inch and a half deep.
For LC19, the pre-seeding rate was 0.04 XCA plus 0.375 liter per acre plus XCB, which is group 2 and 9. Again, we used Velocity M3 as a herbicide for this one field with same rate, which is group 1, 6, and 27. And other than that, like Velocity M3 gives us effective resistance management against Group 1 resistant wild oat and foxtail. Also group 2 and 9 group resistant to broadleaf weeds. Again, there is a no fungicide application for this one field. Last year, the weather conditions were favorable, but we couldn't get a chance to go into the field and spray it. So that's why we didn't get a chance to go through with fungicide application. And we also used a glyphosate as a pre-harvest weed control with same rate 0.66 liter per acre, which is group 9.
Here's our profit map for LC19. We're showing much better average for this field as indicated by the large area of green cells on this map. And there were excellent scouting reports throughout the season for this field. And as far as the negatives go for this field, we think the differing elevations result in excessive moisture in the low spots, and that's believed to cause the lower yielding parts of the field.
So on the student managed farm in 2020, there are going to be 2 fields of CDC landmark wheat, LC13 at 76 acres, and then LC18 at 80 acres. We decided to go with CDC landmark again because it is a midge tolerant variety. It's fusarium tolerant and showed to have really good yields last year on the farm. Here on this wheat midge forecast map for 2020, you can see where the blue arrow is where the vermilion area is. And then just to the south for 2020 is projected to be a high population of wheat midge. So that's why we went with the CDC landmark, because it has good genes, and with the SM1 gene bred into it, this allows the wheat midge larva not to feed, this reducing our risk for damage.
The school's new Holland Combine had both IntelliSense and IntelliCruise. IntelliSense analyzes the sample and automatically makes adjustments to your combine components, such as your concave clearance, whereas IntelliCruise just speeds up and slows down your combine based on how well the crop's flowing through. Unfortunately, we were unable to use IntelliCruise in the barley and the canola due to lodging in the barley and piles in the canola swaths. However, we did use both of them in the wheat, and the combine ran smoothly and a cleaner sample was obtained.
Here's a graph of wheat prices at various local elevators based on the number 2 13.5 protein. Refer to page 8 in your booklet for a breakdown of selling prices. Where the stars are indicates at points which we sold. So our first star was at the beginning of November. We sold 6,500 bushels to Grain Connects in Vegreville for $6.45 a bushel. This was a forced sale as we needed to get rid of some grain to make bin space for being able to flip bins while we were drying. Our second sale was at the beginning of December, and we sold 3,850 bushels to Viterra and Vermilion. Our third star is in January. We sold 3,400 bushels to Viterra and Vegreville for $6.80 a bushel. The next star in February, we sold 3,400 bushels to P&H and Viking for $6.70 a bushel. And in March, we sold 1,700 bushels to Pioneer and Lavoie for $6.68 a bushel. And at the beginning of April, we sold 1,700 bushels to Grain Connects in Vegreville for $6.70 a bushel.
That concludes our wheat presentation. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch. If you do have any questions, you can put them in the comment box below the presentation. Thank you.